What is up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle. Whoops. With me, as always, is Steve. Running a little bit late today, but that's all right. We're still rolling. Steve, how you doing today after that win yesterday, bro?
It's nice to get 3 points, and thank you for everyone who's still here. Was anybody still here?
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, I appreciate it for real.
Yeah, for those of you that are still here and have been here, well, thank you. It's kind of a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to get the first 3 points on the board. We'll definitely talk about the match yesterday, but how are you, man?
I'm a little tired, but we're rolling, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Yeah, I made it. I'm very surprised. But Steve, I really just want to jump right into it yesterday. Talk about yesterday. We go down. You watched start to finish, right? So you saw the beginning.
Yeah,
We go
it
down
was a
1-0 at
rough,
the
rough
beginning.
start.
Yeah. What's your first thought with Trent, dude? I thought Trent was still asleep.
Yeah, I just don't think he was on yesterday. I don't even know if it was mental mistakes. I just feel like he couldn't trap the ball or pass the ball well.
His
Like,
first touch was awful.
yeah, that first touch that bounced 10 feet back away from him.
Yeah.
I think he's just too used to making that touch and focused on the next thing already.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Um, but again, he's got a knock right now. So I just hope he's fit. Everybody's allowed to have a bad game. But I think we were just starting to turn the corner with Trent because the last 10 games of last season were great.
Agreed.
Um, you know, we've been hearing all the stuff about his fitness in preseason and how he's working harder than ever to get in better shape. And then yesterday happens. But I'm just glad we got the 3 points because we need that. Every game matters. And we looked like
Everything.
crap in week 1, which you and I haven't spoken about yet because the last time we spoke was before the Chelsea match.
Oh, good point. That's why I keep you around. Didn't even think about that. Yeah.
That was an embarrassing game. I thought the season was over after that first match, if I'm being honest. Sounds
Yeah, no.
dramatic, but we got
Yeah,
dominated.
it's very dramatic.
The whole match we were dominated, except for the first 15, 20 minutes. Completely dominated, worse than any. We were dominated worse than games we've lost 4-1, 4-0. Beatdowns we've taken.
Sure.
Chelsea made us look worse than that.
Well,
a team with no chemistry.
Okay.
That was worse than the Napoli loss. That was worse than the bad City losses. That was awful, Kyle.
I won't get too into that, but what I will say is I agree with the fact that we were quote unquote dominated, but we still defended fairly well. It was frantic defending, but we still defended pretty well. But going back to yesterday,
because they don't have an attack.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, fair. We drew though, luckily.
We did.
Yeah. Yesterday though, all right. I want to talk about a few things. So, first thing I want to bring your attention to Szoboszlai, dude. Kid's special. Kid's good.
He played incredible yesterday.
And he's handsome as hell. He's good and he's handsome.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that in the live stream. It's actually interesting because, he's pacey, but he's not pacey. He's powerful.
He
was blowing past defenders in the 75th, 80th minute.
Yeah, he's fit.
Yes.
He's real fit.
He really is. Now, it was just nice to see what he's capable of. But I think yesterday's match puts on display what you're going to get from him. He's like an attacking midfielder that can do a little bit of everything. He'll end up on both sides. He can shoot from outside of the box. I give him a lot of credit for that goal.
No, absolutely. I was just about to say that. He created that chance for essentially taking that shot. I think McAllister too. And we'll get into that red card here in a second, but McAllister really just two great signings. Two really quality signings in the midfield. And you know what? Screw it. We don't have a lot of time. Let's jump to the red card, bro. Is that a red card?
No.
It's not a
it's
red
not.
card.
And
It's
and
a
here's
yellow.
why. It's a yellow. But when you have after the match everybody saying it's not a red, it's not a red. The problem isn't that they gave a red in real time. Let me be clear. If you see studs up and a player selling it well enough, and maybe you took your eye off it for a split second, and as soon as you look back, you see kind of the aftermath, and then somebody in your ear says studs up, halfway up the calf. You make that call, that's fine. I can live with that. But the fact that they didn't go back and look at it on the monitor, or VAR didn't overturn it, is a problem.
Yeah.
Because there's a screenshot of yesterday's game. It may have been Billings, like boot in the chest of Gakpo. Or you have last week.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah. The fact that he didn't even look at it means he's delusional. Somebody's delusional. You don't even give that a second look? That's just a straight red in real time?
Yeah,
What?
That's what blew my mind. I had to do a double take. Like, what the? Why would he give a straight red for that? Yeah, studs up is the only thing that in my head could have justified that, but it doesn't make any sense because last week nothing was called
No, I know.
in any match.
Look, if you're going to give a red for that, first of all, I don't agree with it, but fine. But be consistent. Like, it cannot be that hard to build consistency, or at least aim for it. There's no way that didn't deserve a look at the monitor. There's no way. You'll never convince me. And what's he suspended now for? 3 games?
So it's 3. If it's a straight red, I think it's 3 games.
That's insane, dude.
I know that's all right. So that's the point I was trying to make in the stream. I said, all right, if you look at the tackle itself, maybe you can convince yourself it's a red. But then when you look at the punishment, you're like, looking at the tackle, does that equivalate? That's not a word. Holy God, I might go back to bed.
It's like Kevin Garnett. Have you seen that?
No.
Dude, you got to just search Kevin Garnett equivalent. Just do it. Everybody in the chat, at some point in your life, search Kevin Garnett equivalent, and you're gonna have a great laugh.
Oh my God. So look, this is what the point I was trying to make. When you look at it in real time, maybe you could justify a red card. But then when you think about the punishment, you're like, there is no way that tackle equals 3 games suspension.
2 other things I want to add here. One is the speed. He slowed down. Like a dirty tackle, when somebody comes in with force and aggression and malice, a lot of times, like, they're sliding or going in late, studs up. McAllister really and most of us really thought he had a chance to make a play and get there first. He ended up being a split second too late, but he braces himself for the impact. His hands are up. Yes, and he starts to like put the brakes on and almost lean back a little bit and brace. There's no malicious intent there. There's not enough pace for it to be a red. And because of that, now a midfield that already has problems is without McAllister, who, to all accounts, by everyone and everything I've read, the guy is a saint.
Yeah.
He's not a dirty player. So all these things need to get taken into account. Nothing was taken into account.
No, red.
That's it.
Red. I would argue Onana's like punch against Wolves was more violent than what McAllister did. What I think happened is after last week, nothing was called, dude. The handball wasn't given. There was no card for that high tackle on Konate. Onana didn't even get a penalty called on him for that, basically taking out. I don't know if it was Max Kilman. I have no idea who it was. But now this week, there were so many cards given in that game yesterday. I feel like they cracked down on them. They called them all in, and they were like, look, you guys got to start calling stuff. You're being too soft out there. We got a penalty given yesterday. There was a red card. Like, are you serious?
Dude.
They're backtracking. Just be consistent.
Or get rid of VAR. What is the point of having it? If you can't get it right, even when you have a call on the field, and then it goes to a crew or a man who's probably got a team with him, and then he can even give it back to you to view on the monitor, and you still can't get it right. Look, this is the other thing we didn't talk about is the handball last week.
Oh,
I've
God.
listened to 15 different ways you can look at it. I've read a bunch of different ways. One thing I haven't seen is the fact that they're claiming his hand was in a natural body position, which is BS.
All right. That is the only way in my head that I could justify them not giving it, because he went like this, almost like he was trying to tuck his arms in. That's fine. If you want to use that to justify it, that's great. The ball hit his hand that was out.
Listen. Here's what I think is the final that nobody talks about. They should hire me because this is how I would overturn the call. He saw it coming. The whole way he's watching the ball. Therefore, it's not inadvertent because his arm wasn't like this and it got hit from behind.
Right. He was looking.
He watched it come in almost like catching a baseball, but his hand was over here. Nobody runs like this. Nobody walks like this. Nobody does anything like this in life. And when you see the ball coming, you had all that time. That means he had at least a second or two to move his hand.
Yeah,
and he didn't in the box.
It's a penalty. It's always a
Did
penalty.
they look at that, Kyle?
Nope.
Okay. So they didn't go to the monitor.
Wait. They did, but the ref on the field didn't go to the monitor. He was just like, hold on. And I couldn't believe that they didn't tell him to go over to the monitor.
Yeah. How can these people be so sure? But to me, it's the complete opposite. That's how I know no one can be certain. There's no way to all of us. That's a penalty. Yeah. So how can you be completely certain on the other end of the spectrum unless every Liverpool supporter in the world is stupid? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's no consistency. There's no consistency at all. But going back to the game yesterday, I think the penalty given to Szoboszlai was a penalty. One thing I will say is the commentators don't hold back, dude. The commentators, when they saw the Chelsea thing, they were like, oh, that's a penalty. I don't know what world we're living in. That's a penalty. So they said that.
Well, because they don't have any ties to like the referees per se.
Fooled me. Some of them, the way they commentate, they're just like completely against Liverpool. Crazy.
Well, that's because they have the freedom. Like these people have freedom working for NBC or whoever, maybe not in the UK, but for us here in the USA, we have guys from NBC.
Yeah.
And they have freedom.
Yeah. Mora thinks there's a lot of match fixing going on. I don't know about all that. It seems that way. When the refereeing is that bad, it definitely seems that way. But I don't think there's match fixing going on. I really don't.
I don't either. I just think like I don't want to believe that something like that is going on. And I think it would be really hard for that to pass because there are good people in the world, in the organization, in the league. A lot of those officials are probably great, man.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned with is the quality of decisions that we see on a weekly basis. Because I'm going to be honest, other sports we watch, you don't see this. Like, I'm a big New England Patriots fan here. I can think of probably like one or two calls from the whole year where I'm like, oh my gosh, that was insane. And they don't typically decide the outcome of the game.
I still remember very vividly the worst call I've ever seen in the history of football was the New England Patriots, where Tom Brady got his shoulder pad hit and they called roughing the passer.
When was that?
I'm almost positive that was the AFC Championship game where y'all beat us.
Are you talking about one game 5 years ago? That's my point, Kyle.
No, but
You're
I'm
talking
just
about
saying,
one game.
we're not getting
Okay,
into
what
this.
about when N'Keal Harry apparently went out of bounds against the Chiefs and he didn't, and
No,
we
what about the
lost?
Rams and Saints missed call?
That's a bad one. That's
But
corruption type stuff.
this is corruption. A shoulder pad. You're wearing shoulder pads.
2 years ago. This is happening every week. This is my point, Kyle. This is happening every week. They're missing calls.
It's crazy. It's awful. It's just there needs to be some accountability. Like, and when they do that weekly meeting or whatever, they come out after the fact. They're like, we admit that was a bad call. It should have been given as a penalty. It's like, that's just a slap in the face.
Yeah, overturn something. I don't care if you made a mistake. I already know that. Overturn something.
Can't stand it, dude.
How can you get it wrong in real time, but then go have a meeting? Have a meeting during the match. I can wait for 5 minutes.
I can too.
Get a bigger crew in the back room to get it right. Take a 4 to 5 minute break. Have 5 brilliant refereeing minds in one room, and they take a vote, and they discuss, and they vote again. The whole time the video's playing and they're analyzing it. And they got the rule book right with them.
Yeah, and we can get a water break. Hey, they could even have commercials if they wanted to. Like, hey, everyone wins.
No, seriously.
Everyone wins. But
Iglesias says, who trains these refs? Honestly, guys, this show was not supposed to turn into this, but we just haven't discussed it, and it's just disgusting. Wow.
That's why the Sunday Summary is so great, bro. I don't know if you agree, but it just turns into stuff that we don't even plan.
Dude, I
know
think
what
about the
you're gonna
Rodri handball all the time.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
That's the difference between now anybody in their right mind and anybody with half a brain can say there's more to it than that. But like literally, if that decision goes the other way, we have another Premier League title.
I know.
It's insane. The fine margins that they're allowed to get away with. And the problem is, nothing's changing, Kyle. Nothing's changing. They come out and say they make a mistake. You got guys, who's the ref that just screws us every time?
Anthony Taylor?
Is it Anthony Taylor? Yeah, I think it's Anthony Taylor.
He was awful in that game, dude.
Dude, listen.
He was so bad.
Anthony Taylor is still going to put his outfit on and referee a game until he decides to retire. They will never get rid of him.
They're like judges.
No, dude, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they treat these people like they're invincible. Everybody's disposable. Start disposing of referees. Like, make a change. Because the only other people that are allowed to do their job wrong every day and still get paid are who, Kyle?
Judges.
Weathermen.
Oh, yeah.
They can get the weather wrong every day and they'll never get tossed. Ever.
Oh, my God.
Because they are wrong every day.
That's a dying industry, too. Everything's on an app now.
Yeah.
This is
but
just
no, I mean, dude, just wait. Like another 20 years, like 40 years, it's dead.
Oh, yeah. It's there are
Or there'll just be one channel.
There are occupations that are dying. I mean, we know that. But look, going back to the game, standout performances. We talked about Szoboszlai. Luis Diaz's goal, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely great. One thing I was surprised about, dude, Darwin Nunez didn't start. Is Darwin Nunez just the new Origi? That Klopp's treating him like the new Origi, the $85 million Origi.
No. He would have come on. So I was surprised that he didn't come on a little earlier. You never know who's going to start. Excuse me. But he would have come on if we didn't have McAllister go out with a red. He would have come on.
What?
If we weren't down a midfielder,
yeah,
10 men, he would have come on like sooner, I think.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
But he's not a Origi. We just have quality, dude. And I think there's going to come a time where, unfortunately, someone will pick up a knock and he'll get in there regularly. Because I don't see Klopp rotating that.
No.
Dude, like, they're all really, really good right now.
It scares me. It scares me, I think. I'm not scared by the fact that Darwin doesn't start scared because we need him to start. I'm scared by the fact that this kid we paid so much for that's really young is just like, I don't want to say rotting on the bench, because I've always called for depth. We all need depth. So I like that we have that depth. But I'm worried it's going to damage his confidence, and then when that time does come where he needs to start, he's not going to be great. Like, he is not the same player that everyone else is, dude. He's not a hold-up player. He's just chaotic. He's a dog. He's aggressive. He's direct.
I think that's why he's better as a sub.
No, I know. But what about the time when we need him to start?
Well, then he's going to start and play as you-know-what off. But look, again, things will change. We'll rotate. He'll still get his goals. I mean, he almost had the winner against Chelsea last week.
Oh, that
but
was
there's only 11 players can play. And when Gakpo moves out of midfield, Darwin's not going to be the only one on the bench. Somebody else has to be on the bench.
Yeah.
Because you can only have 3 of Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, and Salah and Nunez. So 2 are going to be left out. You're right. Depth is what we've been calling for, but there's also that emotion you get.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have it both ways, unfortunately, because I feel
That's
the same
all
way.
I'm saying.
Looking at him on the bench, I'm like, damn. Like, you'd start for
probably 15
17 other teams.
Yeah, he would. Really would. So overall, good match. We played better with 10 men, which is kind of ironic. But referees got to get it together in summation. Another shout out, Alisson Becker. He's just unbelievable.
Unbelievably awful at times, Kyle. He kept making mistakes in the first half yesterday, along with Trent. I'm not giving him a pass on that.
Hold on. Are you serious?
First of all, side note, your mother says I'm literally walking on the beach listening to my 2 favorite guys' Life is Good. Enjoy the beach. I'm jealous.
Yes.
Thank you.
Love you. You're the greatest.
Yes, we do. Dude, Alisson, I literally said it in your live stream yesterday. Alisson sucks. He looked petrified for the first 15 minutes. Then he turned it around and did his job. I'm not giving him extra credit because he almost blew the damn match in the beginning. Along with Trent. If you're going to start off this show and say, why was Trent so bad? You better say the same thing about Alisson. He had 2 brutal mistakes.
I'm legitimately confused because I must have not paid attention to him because I'm dumbfounded right now. I thought Alisson played so well yesterday.
He did. Once we all turned it around, he was great. In the beginning, he did not do well.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt just because.
Well, let us know in the chat. What were the 2 moments? He gave the ball away once.
I just honestly think Trent looked like he was just high as a kite to start the game. That's what I thought.
Maybe he was.
Everyone kind of sobered up and they were like,
is marijuana legal over there?
I don't know. It's a good question. Guys, is marijuana legal over there? I doubt it. Across
the old pond?
Yeah. Queasy said smoking Trent's grass. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, I just thought Alisson played great yesterday, but Szoboszlai, yeah, it's not legal. Szoboszlai got man of the match, rightly so. I think Luis Diaz, Van Dijk is playing like his best self, dude. It's unbelievable. Ever since he got the captain's armband, he is just a different defender. Like, he's playing like he was before the injury. Shout out.
He looks healthy. He looks healthy. Last season, it was like we played like 70 games, and then it was the World Cup. He's just played a lot of football. I think he looks rested and fresh. Also, people are saying he was terrible there yesterday gaming. Super Ali. Ali was shocking first 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. I'm not forgetting something here.
No,
He
I
was
am
bad in the
clearly.
beginning. Yeah,
I'm
no,
clearly.
he was bad in the beginning. I said he sucks when he was sucking. And now I'm saying he's the best goalkeeper in the world. He was the worst goalkeeper in the world for 10 minutes, and then he was the best goalkeeper in the world for 85.
Oh my God. Oh God. Yeah. All right. Let's transition real quick. We got a few minutes to chat about Cheick Doucoure. So first off, we got in Endo. We haven't talked about that. We signed Wataru Endo. All right. And I honestly think that is an extremely smart stopgap signing. Okay. Extremely smart. He's missed 2 games in 4 years at Stuttgart. He's a veteran. He was cheap. All right. And he's a cult hero already. I don't know if you saw the signing day vlog, but the way Klopp talked to him and the way he talked gave me goosebumps. I was just like, Klopp said nothing special. He was just like, we need your brain. We need your legs. We need your intelligence. We need it. We're an attacking team, but we need you. I was like, I'm ready to dive into a glass pool head first. I mean, it was so great. And I think Endo's just the start. I think Cheick Doucoure is next, bro. I do. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I love the Endo signing
It's
because
great.
at the end of the day, if nothing else, he's played in big matches for club and country, and you know he can give you a shift. He's not expected to change the world or turn this team around, but he could be the missing piece. He could be. They say he doesn't put a foot wrong. He works hard. He's a defensive-minded midfielder with leadership traits. Okay, thanks. Well, the only thing we wish is that he was younger. But if he's not missing games and nobody's saying he's slowing down, maybe you can still get a couple, 2 or 3 years out of this guy.
I wonder, I don't know how long his contract is, but I hope it's like more than 3 years.
But let's just say we get 2 or 3 years out of him and then he becomes 32 or 33. Great. Thank you. We did something. Next is the Doucoure piece. We literally sat here and laughed Doucoure out of the room
I know, but
4 weeks
dude,
ago, and now we're going to accept it. It's just sad that we're at this point, but I'll take him. You're going to have to
I didn't
overpay for
accept it.
Doucoure. No, but you're saying you think he's coming. Are you okay? I guess. Are you excited about that?
I want to discuss it because first off, when we first discussed him, the figure being thrown around was 70 or 80 million. No, sorry. Now, the reports this week were saying we're stepping up our efforts because the value that we're getting or the quote we're getting is less than 50. And I
Well,
was
then
like,
yes, do it.
okay. So that's where I'm like kind of excited about it. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But with the other names on the list, all right, so there's like Paulinho.
He's nasty.
He is, but 28 years old, 27 or 28, and the figure that I'm seeing is 90 million for him.
Yeah, no way. Not
That's what
happening.
I said. So
He
I'm
was the
like,
best CDM in the league last year. For what it's worth. Stat
I
wise, the
the
best.
the most links I'm seeing over the past week were Sangare and Doucoure. Sangare has that release clause. Inacio, by the way, just signed a new deal with Sporting, so they're clearly trying to get more money for him. Rightly so. Great idea on their end. And Doucoure, I don't know. I don't know. But the season started already. We're 2 games in. We're 2 games into the season.
One thing I will say is, man, I still get surprised at how fast players make their debut in this league. Like Endo, 24 hours and he comes off the bench
I love it.
over Baccetic. Like, I'm just mind blown. If Baccetic isn't 100%, he wouldn't be dressed up. He was our best player until he
was
got
so
hurt last
good.
year.
So
And the
good
fact
last
that
year.
Endo comes in, you could tell yourself it's because Baccetic is fresh off an injury. Like, no, he knows the system. Endo hasn't seen anything yet. He didn't even have time. He got off
Yeah.
the flight and came to Anfield right away.
That dude hasn't even slept.
No, he hasn't slept in 3 days. He actually looked like he was kind of sleepy out there, didn't he?
Probably. I don't know. He looks pretty solid to me. I'm just excited to see him. But real quick, I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. I know we mentioned it earlier, but thank you all for your patience. You guys are the best for sticking around. And Steve, real quick, do you have any closing thoughts, bro? We talked about the game yesterday. 4 points from 6. I haven't seen where we're at in the table, but we're probably tied with 10 teams. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Sorry we were late, first and foremost. Angel says
Absolutely.
rival DMs include Casado, Rice, Casemiro, Basuma, Rodri, and we have Endo. That's being a little dramatic because we have McAllister, Jones, Endo, Bacetic, and maybe Doucoure, whoever else we sign. We just need to figure out who's going to step up and be the piece to that puzzle. But yes, we can't make like-for-like comparisons. That's not fair. Because we don't have anybody of that caliber of the people you're listing, except Basuma. He's garbage. Sorry. He's trash. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and we'll be on time next week.
Absolutely. We will be on time. I promise. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Steve, thank you very much. Appreciate your patience again, guys. And until next week, Reds, take care.